Hi from sunny and beautiful Lahore. Today I am taking you with me for a little shopping at legendary Liberty Market. Then we are visiting a UNESCO World Heritage Site with a very scary folklore associated with it. We are then going to the walled city of Lahore to explore major tourist attractions and one of the oldest Turkish hammams before moving to more quiet areas and hidden gems. Finally, we cross Ravi River to visit Tomb of Emperor Jehangir, where we revisit his death and many layered stories associated with Mughal Empire. But before that, hi, I am Farah, an expat living in Europe and sharing my travels, experiences, and adventures with you. So if you like videos like these, consider subscribing. If you have no idea what Lahore is, then do watch part 1 of my Lahore series. But in this video, we are diving directly deep into the culture of fashion and historic scene of Lahore. To explore just that, I am in Liberty Market in Gulberg area of Lahore. Even if you do not necessarily want to shop here, just going there to explore many colorful dresses, jewelries, and wonderful pieces, and just to navigate the market is an experience in itself. It is also very fun to haggle with the vendors and hearing them sell everything under the sky. By the way, a very funny thing happened. Because I am a local and my husband is German, the people thought that I was his tour guide, and many vendors came to me to ask my husband to spend his money as much as possible. When they got to know that he's in fact my husband, we all had a very good laugh. But it only goes to show you that bargaining here is quite the norm, and you should not accept the price that is offered to you right off the bat, and always bargain. Anyways, depending on how much time you have and how much of a fashion enthusiast you are, you can spend anywhere from 30 minutes to 6 hours in this market just roaming around, buying, eating, and exploring.
Offered a grey color as my skin shade.
We moved on after 2 hours and after buying wool shawl for us. Next stop for us was to explore the entire walled city of Lahore. The walled city of Lahore is actually coming from its historic core when the city was established in 1000 AD. Here you would find major historic monuments like 𝐸 Pakistan, Badshahi Mosque, Wazir Khan Mosque, and Mughal town houses and mansions called Havelis. Old Lahore city had 13 gates to grant access into the city, but out of those 13 gates, only 6 gates survive today. One of those 6 gates I am right now is Delhi Gate. Once the main and the only road that led from Lahore to Delhi in India had been built during the Mughal Empire. It is just historical in itself, but today it is very fun to see the hustle and bustle around this road. Moving through this gate, we arrive at one of the oldest hammams called Shahi Hammam or Wazir Khan Hammam. It is a Turkish bath which was built in Lahore in 1600s during the reign of Emperor Shah Jahan. It is no longer used as a hammam, but it has returned to its former glory today after being restored. The ticket is different for foreigners, which I find totally fair, and still it just costs about €1. Inside, you'll come up to a glorious bath, fully restored and bearing testimony to how grand it must have been in its days. Wow. Here you can decide to hire a tour guide who would quote you a ridiculous price. Remember to bargain here. But we skipped on this as the information labels inside the hammam was enough for us. I totally recommend this trip because it is quite interesting and spectacular. We spent about an hour there, and afterwards we just got lost in the alleyways and stumbled upon a cute little shop called Usman Ki Baitak. Baitak in Urdu means a place to sit and converse. Throughout Old Lahore, there are many little saloons where you sit, sip chai, have some snacks, and hear Sufi poetries and anecdotes. Nothing comes without a price though, and you are kind of expected to pay a little donation. It is of course your choice to do so or not. After a whole day of exploring and walking, we had dinner at the backyards restaurant of Shahi Hammam. I did not like the food, so I wouldn't recommend it. We then drove back to the hotel to be fresh and prepared for the next historical day in Lahore. We are in Lahore Fort. An absolute must visit in Lahore, it is a large complex of fortifications, marble mosques, and palaces built by Mughal emperors. The fortifications have been in process since 11th century, but it came to its full glory in 16th century when Emperor Akbar or Akbar the Great made Lahore his empire's capital. Afterwards, many emperors kept building this fort up. It is a work of art of many emperors spread over centuries and today a UNESCO World Heritage. Of course, by paying a fee of about €5 for foreigners and about 16 cents for local, you can explore this giant. I can recommend totally here that you get a tour guide because trust me, 5 hours will feel nothing inside this place. Since we are history buffs, we did it on our own and spent 6 hours here, but our tour guide would be done and dusted within 45 minutes. There is also a folklore that Lahore Fort is haunted by a ghost of a woman. This woman was sentenced to buried alive within the walls of this fort at the order of Emperor Akbar. I was very spooked by this story and I do not know if it's true or not, but it is still fun to hear. Also, people who know a little bit of the politics of Pakistan, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan was also imprisoned in this fort before he was hanged for treason. His jail is still intact to this day and serve as a humbling and chilling stop when you visit this fort. Moving on, we absolutely could not miss Badshahi Mosque. There is nothing much to say about this place other than the fact that it is glorious, it is amazing. We visited here, spent about 45 minutes. Out of respect, you have to give your shoes outside to the people who are collecting your shoes with some price. Usually locals pay 20 rupees for it, 10 cents, but we were charged about €1 for it, which was about 500 rupees. But oh well, did you even travel if you didn't fall into travel traps? Moving on, we are now exploring the tomb of Emperor Jehangir. It is not really located inside the Lahore city. You have to take about an hour and a half of drive and you have to cross a river, which is River Ravi. Pakistan and India share 5 rivers and one of these rivers is River Ravi. The river in itself is a historical masterpiece, but crossing it, we reached this ruin-like and left out piece that is somehow stuck in history. This was the only place that I found that taking a tour guide might help me. It took 10 years to build and it costed 10 lakhs for 100,000. So I took a tour guide and he explained so many things to me which I would have never had any other way to find out had I not had a tour guide. Now this is the entrance of the tomb. So tomb of Jehangir was not always a tomb. It belonged to his mother, and because it was right on the river and his mother was Hindu coming back from India, she actually really loved being near River Ravi because it was also in India. When Jehangir was on one of his vacations in Kashmir, he died of a heart attack and his dying wish was that he wants to be buried in Lahore where he spent so much time with his mother. So the tour guide told me that people took all of his vital organs and buried somewhere else, and it took 21 days to transport his body from Kashmir to Lahore where he's buried and still sleeps here right where his mother used to be. Date of death, 1037 is the date of his death. शहजादा मोहम्मद सलीम
के नाम से उन्होंने हम नाम बनाया था ना हज़रत शरीफ ज्वेलरी वाले हैं ना मैडम, जो ज्वेलरीज में जेवरात में यूज होता है। ये वो वाले पत्थर है, असली सच्चे अनमोल पत्थर है।
All these stories make me feel so surreal and so wonderful and somehow sad. Today, some parts of these tombs are restored, but they're just restored for doing photo shoot and catalog editions of new clothing line, which makes me really sad. I don't know how Jehangir must be feeling right now, but after his death and after the fall of Mughal Empire, the whole place, which was very cherished by him, got looted. Everything was stolen. Everything which was dear to him and dear to their family. But I guess that is what the idea of empires are. They have rise and so they shall fall. With a very heavy heart and almost a sadness, we return back to Lahore. And on this note, unfortunately, I have to leave you with this video. I never like to leave on sad note because I am a person who always wants to be happy and keep people happy. But yeah, after that, I really didn't feel like making any more videos for now and waited for the next day to begin. Join me next day to have another amazing experience through the city of Lahore. See you then.